Hello and welcome, YouTube. I'm thrilled to have you joining me today as we delve into an unprecedented exploration of philosophy. Today we're shedding light on a topic that hasn't been given enough room in the philosophical scene. Women's philosophical desire. We're going to approach this from an inclusive perspective, exploring the intricate realms of ethics, identity, and justice. In this video, we'll also dive into the depths of Stoicism, a school of philosophy that has much to teach us about endurance, wisdom, and living a fulfilling life, regardless of our gender. So if you're ready, let's embark on this journey together, breaking down barriers and igniting a dialogue about women, philosophy, and the Stoic way of life. Stay tuned as we unfold the layers of this fascinating topic. In our exploration of women's philosophical desire, our first main point delves into the intersection of ethics and Stoicism and women's philosophical thirst. Stoicism, a school of Hellenistic philosophy, places heavy emphasis on virtue, particularly in maintaining a balance between emotions and rationality. This ancient philosophy champions the idea of living in accordance with nature and reason, and it is in this concept where we find a significant resonance with women's philosophical desire. The Stoics believed that to live a good life, one must rise above destructive emotions by developing wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Interestingly, these are the very virtues that many women philosophers have long desired to pursue in their quest for understanding the world around them. Women philosophers have been seeking to understand and articulate ethics from a perspective that includes their experiences and identities. They seek to bridge the gap between the personal and the universal, to bring their unique insights into the big questions of justice, ethics, and morality. In the Stoic view, emotions are not inherently negative. They become so when they cloud our judgment and lead us away from rational thought and action. Likewise, women philosophers seek to balance their emotional experiences with the pursuit of rationality, to use their unique perspectives and experiences to contribute to philosophical discourse. This desire is not just about achieving equality in the realm of philosophical thought, but about enriching the discipline with diverse viewpoints and experiences. Yet the question remains, how can women's philosophical desire and Stoicism intersect in a manner that brings forth a balanced view of ethics, identity, and justice? Does Stoicism provide women philosophers with the tools they need to explore these questions? Or does it limit their ability to fully express their unique perspectives and experiences? This desire to balance emotion with reason, to seek wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, and to contribute to philosophical discourse is at the heart of women's philosophical desire. In the next section, we will delve deeper into this intersection by exploring the works of notable women philosophers who have drawn on Stoic principles in their philosophical pursuits. So stay tuned to learn more about the unique insights and perspectives these women bring to the realm of Stoic philosophy. Moving on to our second main point, we delve into the fascinating intersection of identity and Stoicism. Stoicism, as a philosophical school, emphasizes the development of self-control and fortitude to overcome destructive emotions. It's about understanding the natural world, our place in it, and finding peace within ourselves. But how does this overlap with identity, particularly for women? In the context of this discussion, identity refers to the distinct characteristics, qualities, or beliefs that make a person who they are. For women, identity can be influenced by a myriad of factors: societal expectations, personal experiences, cultural norms, and much more. So what does Stoicism have to say about this? The Stoic philosophers, predominantly male, wrote little about women. However, the core principles of Stoicism are universal and can be applied to anyone regardless of their gender. Stoicism teaches us to differentiate between what's within our control and what's not. When it comes to our identities, certain aspects are beyond our reach, such as our ethnicity, the family we were born into, or societal biases. Stoicism instructs us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, our reactions, our decisions. For women seeking philosophical enlightenment, this can translate into a powerful tool for self-empowerment. In a world that often tries to dictate how a woman should be, Stoicism can guide us in taking ownership of our identity. It encourages us to define ourselves, not by external factors that we have no control over, but by our internal virtues, our resilience, our wisdom. However, it's important to note that Stoicism is not about suppressing emotions, as it is often misunderstood. Instead, it's about understanding our emotions, accepting them, and not allowing them to control us. It's about finding a balance between our emotional and rational selves, which is crucial in forging an authentic identity. In essence, Stoicism provides a framework that can help women navigate the complexities of identity formation in today's world. It can enable us to assert our individuality, stand firm against societal pressures, and ultimately cultivate a sense of inner peace and self-acceptance. But how does this Stoic approach to identity tie into ethics and justice? And what role do women have to play in this philosophical discourse? Stay tuned as we explore these intriguing questions in the next part of our discussion. Moving on to the third main point of our discussion, we will delve into the fascinating intersection of justice in Stoicism and women's philosophical desire. Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy, puts a heavy emphasis on virtue, reason, and self-control, and one of the four cardinal virtues it emphasizes is justice. Justice, in the Stoic context, is about treating others with fairness, giving each their due, and striving for social harmony. Now, how does this concept of justice tie with women's philosophical desire? Women, historically, have been marginalized in various philosophical traditions, including Stoicism. Their voices and perspectives have often been erased, relegated, or misunderstood. But women's philosophical desire is about seeking, understanding, and asserting their place in philosophical discourses. And one of the critical areas in this pursuit is the concept of justice. Justice, for many women philosophers, is not just about fairness in the abstract, but about equality, respect, and recognition in the concrete. It is about redefining and reclaiming philosophical spaces that have been traditionally male-dominated, about making philosophy more inclusive and representative. And in this endeavor, Stoicism offers a unique platform. The Stoic idea of justice, with its emphasis on fairness, respect, and social harmony, aligns well with the aspirations of many women philosophers. It provides a philosophical framework that values virtue and reason over gender, creating room for a more egalitarian and inclusive discourse. But this is not a one-way street. Women's philosophical desire, with its focus on justice and equality, can also enrich and expand Stoicism, making it more relevant and responsive to the concerns of our diverse, modern society. So how can we foster this dialogue between Stoicism and women's philosophical desire? How can we make philosophy more inclusive, more just, more representative? As we move forward, let's explore these questions together. Up next, we will look at some concrete strategies and practices that can help us achieve this goal. So stay tuned. Let's delve straight into the fascinating intersection of ethics, identity, and justice. This junction forms the crux of our discussion about women's philosophical desire, and Stoicism, ethics, a philosophical discipline, is all about understanding and establishing moral obligations, rights, and wrongs. Identity, on the other hand, is an individual's self-concept derived from personal attributes, beliefs, values, and more. Justice signifies fairness, where rights are upheld, and individuals receive what is due to them. Each of these components is vital in Stoic philosophy, but when they intersect from a woman's perspective, the dynamics change significantly. This intersection becomes a potent platform for understanding the unique experiences, struggles, and aspirations of women. In the world of Stoicism, ethics is about virtue and living a life according to nature. But how does this translate when applied to the identity of women who have historically been marginalized and faced unjust treatment? How can we adjust the lens of Stoicism to acknowledge these realities and incorporate them into our understanding of virtue and ethics? Furthermore, justice in Stoicism is about treating all human beings as equals with kindness and understanding. But how does this concept reconcile with the injustices and inequalities women have faced? How does it account for and rectify the disparities ingrained in our societal structures? And how does it contribute to the formation and affirmation of a woman's identity? The intersection of ethics, identity, and justice is where these questions are explored, and where Stoic philosophy is applied and interpreted in a way that is inclusive and empowering for women. It is where women's philosophical desire is given a voice and a platform for expression. Here we see the potential for Stoicism to evolve and adapt, to become a philosophy that recognizes and includes the diverse identities, experiences, and aspirations of all human beings, regardless of gender. But how exactly does this happen? How can Stoic philosophy evolve to become more inclusive and empowering for women? What is the role of women in this transformation? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into these questions in the next section of our exploration. Now, let's move on to our fifth main point: the impact of an inclusive perspective on Stoic philosophy. Stoicism, a school of philosophy founded in Athens by Zeno of Citium, promotes the idea of accepting things as they are, focusing on what we can control, and maintaining inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Often, it's criticized for promoting emotional restraint and an individualistic perspective. But what happens when we look at Stoicism through an inclusive lens? First, let's break some misconceptions. Stoicism doesn't actually advocate for the suppression of emotions. Instead, it encourages the management of destructive emotions and impulsive reactions, something that can be beneficial for everyone, regardless of gender or identity. When viewed from an inclusive perspective, Stoicism's emphasis on self-control and acceptance can be empowering. It can encourage women and other marginalized groups to question societal norms that enforce emotional reactivity and conformity. Moreover, the Stoic idea of oikeiosis, which suggests a natural inclination towards developing self-love and social affection, can be interpreted as a call for empathy and understanding towards others, regardless of their identity. This inclusive interpretation can guide us towards a more compassionate society. Also, Stoic philosophy is adaptable. Through an inclusive lens, we can reinterpret Stoic teachings to address modern struggles, including gender inequality and social injustice. For example, the Stoic practice of viewing events from a wider perspective can help us understand and challenge systemic oppression. But how does this inclusive interpretation of Stoicism influence our ethical considerations, our sense of identity, and our quest for justice? How can we use it to navigate our world that is so rich in diversity and complexity? And how can it help us reconcile with the paradoxes of our personal and social lives? In the next section, we'll be delving into these questions and exploring the practical implications of an inclusive Stoic philosophy in our daily lives, so stay tuned. In conclusion, the philosophical desires of women, encompassing the realms of ethics, identity, and justice, are vast and as varied as the women who contemplate them. We've delved into how these desires are not siloed but interconnected, and how they've been historically influenced and shaped by patriarchal systems. We've also explored the role of Stoicism in empowering women to engage in philosophical discourse, providing a framework for personal growth, resilience, and virtue in the face of adversity. We've shed light on the fact that women, regardless of their background, have an inherent desire to question, to understand, and to engage actively in the philosophical discourse. It is our hope that this discussion has sparked your curiosity and has encouraged you to further explore the rich tapestry of women's philosophical thought and its intersection with Stoicism. I want to thank you all for tuning in and participating in this important discussion. If you enjoyed this video and want to continue exploring these topics with us, please hit the subscribe button and join our community. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to leave a comment below, and don't forget to share this video with your networks to keep the conversation going. Remember, philosophy is not a closed book, but a living, breathing dialogue. It's an invitation to question, to ponder, and to engage. And in the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So as we part ways today, I encourage you to carry these discussions forward, to question, to reflect, and to react with wisdom and courage. Thank you again for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep growing. Goodbye for now, and may your philosophical journey be rich and rewarding.